What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. You can find me over on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only Scott clicking things savage. Scott, what's up today, buddy?
We're halfway through the week already. Just got out of the blur of E3 and time for games, I guess.
It feels like it just hasn't stopped, right? Like, we really started things off last week at Thursday with the games showcase, Summer Game Showcase with Jeff Keighley. And dude, it's just been rolling ever since. And now we're just wrapping up E3, like you said, because coming up on today's show, well, we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Direct from yesterday and a quick recap on what Bandai Namco had to show. So, well, we'll see how that goes. But you can join us live every day over at twitch.tv/theofficialITG or on YouTube. But if you can't join us live, no big deal. Hit us up later at InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, and TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, let's kick it off. It is Nintendo. And how excited were you for Nintendo Showcase yesterday?
I had some big hopes, some big questions that I wanted answered. The first being, who is going to be the Smash edition?
And who
I've
was
kind of been
Scott?
asking for people's predictions, and I don't think anybody got that one right.
No. Who did they end up showcasing?
Kazuya.
Yeah.
Kazuya is from the Street Fighter series. I'm not very familiar with Street Fighter, so this one was not for me, at least.
No, for sure. Like, I was going into Nintendo with mild expectations just because I know a lot of their properties and IPs don't really speak to me, but yet there are a few that we'll get to that really do showcase and things I want to play for sure, right? So it's funny when you organize a showcase, you have a little bit there for everybody. So yeah, you may not talk to me the entire show, but you're going to capture me on a couple things, right? And then they'll speak to you on a few things, and then there's just a lot of people to cover in a short amount of time. But I thought their overall showcase, well, we'll get to that. But they started off with that, and then from there, Scott, it went into a bit of a whirlwind of things we've already seen, like Life is Strange. But the way Life is Strange opened, Scott, was unique in the fact that it didn't open this way with anybody else. It came on as a like an anime. So I was like, oh, well, are we getting, right? They had that cute art style and stuff. And I thought, oh, maybe we're getting a whole new Life is Strange game. And then it just rolled in to tell us that, no, this is everything else we've seen prior to the rest of the E3 conference and stuff like that. So I thought, cool opening, but.
Yeah, it was actually probably the more interesting kind of trailer we've seen about Life is Strange.
Yes.
I believe the first time they may have gone into more details about what's coming out, the packaging of the two different, I believe it's a prequel or a side story coming out with the main stories remastered. So it's interesting to see that there's still life being breathed into that series, for one.
Sure.
And interesting, it's big enough that Nintendo's going to take it on. They don't quite take everything, so
no,
that was interesting to see.
Good point. And something else they took on, Scott, was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. No, we knew that one's coming down the pipe, but it's been shown off with kind of this slant towards next gen. PS5, Xbox Series are going to run it really well.
Sure.
Well, it's that same game is still going to run on a Switch.
Apparently. Like, how well do you think it's going to run on the Switch, Scott? We've seen their own game with Hyrule's Warriors, and dude, that thing chugged. Now there's a lot of NPCs on screen too that kind of lags that thing out almost to a grinding halt at times. But moving forward into what we saw at the Square Enix press conference was, dude, like, this is a next gen title, but coming to the Switch, they're just not there, Scott.
Yeah, there's a lot of speed, a lot of kind of particle effects happening, and interesting powers going off. So there's a potential to be very bright and vibrant. And I can see potentially the Switch not handling the amount of frames. But it's hard to. I don't want to make that judgment too early.
No, for sure.
Kind of miss out on seeing a major title.
No, absolutely. It's nice to see that they're coming to the Switch. We'll see how well they optimize it for the Switch. I think if everybody has a next gen console, or even last gen for that matter, we'll probably pick it up there first over the Switch. But if you only have the Switch, then this is your opportunity to get in on Guardians of the Galaxy. Nate over at ITG in Twitch joins us and says a dumbed down version. That's kind of what I'm expecting, to be honest, Nate, right? Like, you expecting the same thing there, Scott?
Yeah, he makes a good point.
Yeah.
Doom also kind of took a hit, but was available.
Yeah.
I could see it being a little more of a Play-Doh-y kind of tone to their graphics. They got to step it down somehow. And
yeah.
At the moment, this is the hardware they're working with. It's the Switch we've known for a long time now.
Yeah, it's been up for a very long time. One of our favorite party games, Scott, coming out of Team 17 was Worms Rumble, is making its way onto the Nintendo Switch, which I think is a great fit for that game, dude. Like, I am pumped. This game is incredible. We had a blast. We played this as a Let's Play on the show for Inside the Game. Scott, what are your thoughts on this?
I think it fits the Switch very well. And after we had kind of played with that game, it went into obscurity. I wasn't sure what was going on with it. So
yeah,
it is supported. It is alive and well. That's a good sign. What a great different tweak on what makes Worms the standard kind of iteration. The real-time fighting was really good. And like I said, I think it fits well on the Switch. It's the right pacing.
No, absolutely. I agree too. I think it's perfect for the Switch. It was so much fun. We were playing it on PC. We had early access to it on PC. And dude, it is just a ton of chaos. So I'm curious to see if they can withstand. How many people do you have? Because it's almost like a little mini battle royale, right? For those who don't know what Worms Rumble is all about, it is essentially a battle royale with worms. So how many NPC or how many people can we have on at once playing in a lobby? I think the Switch can handle whatever they want to throw at it for this style of game.
Yeah, because it's this style of game, they'll get away with a lot more that they couldn't get away with in terms of Smash Brothers or any other kind of fighter.
Sure.
Things have to be frame perfect for those, but Worms can be a little fast and loose.
Yeah, absolutely. Scott, another one that caught your eye was, I think it's called Asteria's Ascending, which is this painted art style of a game, and it really it looked cool. What are your thoughts on that one coming out?
Yeah, it's part of I have a new eye for that sort of visual look.
Yeah.
And so when I see it, I like it. I get excited. The hand-painted backgrounds, I think, in pretty much everything we've seen this weekend have been beautiful. The worlds that they're building look really good because of it.
Yeah.
And this kind of three-dimensional like field of depth that you get out of it.
Yep.
It's really interesting. It's something that's new to me, so I'm pretty excited about that kind of stuff.
There was something, I can't remember what it was called. I can picture the game, but it was on Vita, and it was just like this, and it fit it so well on Vita that I think this is the perfect match for the Switch as well. I thought it was awesome. Dear Villagers coming out with a ton of games, and this is one I think everybody should be keeping their eye on over on the Switch for sure. And then we got into more stuff that we've seen already. Talking about 2 Point Campus, Scott coming around once again. This is like the fourth time we've seen this trailer.
Yeah, it's coming out in a big way. They've put a lot into their marketing of this one for sure. But I believe this is the second release, at least main release from 2 Point. Yeah. So they want to. They're still establishing their name and their brand out there. But this was one of several things that Nintendo just kind of rolled through. Don't worry, this is coming to Switch, and this, and this, and this. So
no, good point.
It's good to know that they're keeping up with the market.
Yeah, and then we saw a bit of a surprise, Scott. The 20th anniversary of Super Monkey Ball is making its way back onto the Switch. I thought, man, we laughed at that one. It was pretty funny to see that there.
Yeah, that was funny. We saw some of the characters. Is this Ape Escape? And then it's been a while since there's an Ape. Oh, never mind. Yeah. Super Monkey Ball. Yeah. On a Switch, though, I think there's the potential for that to be really interesting. Now, Super Monkey Ball is its own flavor, very distinct of pretty much everything else.
Yeah.
So for fans, they're going to hop on it anyways. But I think putting it on the Switch is a good way to get new eyes on it.
Sure.
And with the tilt controls, I
was
think
gonna
that could
say,
really be.
I think it's a perfect match for it, right? I think the perfect match is with the Switch, because you have all these gyroscope mechanics within the Switch, that you'll be tipping the Switch over on its head just to get the ball where it needs to go. And it should be a ton of fun. It's definitely like a party game, kind of wraps right into Mario Party is back once again, Scott. They are there as well. Mario Party Superstars.
How many Mario parties have there been?
Man.
Is this into double digits now?
It's gotta be at this point, I would think. Yeah. Are you looking forward to that one?
It might be Mario Party X or something. They might be trying to hide the.
My youngest likes it. Dude, I can't get into them. It's not for me.
It trained me how to hit the A button as fast as I possibly can.
Mash that thing.
No, I don't know if I was tortured with Mario Party or in some games of Mario Party as a child, but it kind of, I have a negative association with it, and I think that's unfair on my part, really.
No, well, dude, I don't know. I couldn't get into it, but I think what you are going to get into is when they talked about Metroid Prime 4. They are working hard on it, Scott. Working hard. They had nothing to show because they showed Metroid Dread instead.
Yeah, Metroid Prime 4 was announced, I believe, 4 years ago now.
Well, they're still working on it.
And they didn't have anything to show.
Sneeze. We got to sneeze on the show, everybody.
That one snuck up on me. Just like Metroid Dread did. No, I have to address Metroid Dread specifically, though. I am very excited about this one. It's a follow-up to Metroid Prime Fusion, which was on the Game Boy Advance, so we're going back several generations now. It's been over a decade, potentially 2 decades since we've seen a brand new 2D Metroid title of any kind.
Yeah.
And this one's a follow-up to a fan favorite, so I think I have really high hopes for this one.
Yeah, I've never really been into the Metroid Prime at all. Metroid either, to be honest, right? It's just I started off in Nintendo, and then eventually I just faded off. Went into the world of PlayStation and Xbox and PC. So, I kind of dabble back into the world of Nintendo, and then I'll fade out, and then I'll come back and fade out. So when I saw this, dude, this looks like a ton of fun.
Yeah, it's one of the more dark, grittier. It is, the Prime series is a first-person shooter, so it definitely takes a lot of liberties with what Nintendo will allow.
Right. Yeah, so we're curious to see. We didn't get an actual release date, though, did we, Scott? Not on that one.
I don't believe
October 8th is when it's coming. That's when I wrote it down.
Okay.
Yeah, nice. Then they went into Ubisoft is one of their best games ever, Just Dance. Dude, it makes a ton of money for them.
That series is still going hard.
It's still going, and it makes an absolute ton of money for Ubisoft. A lot of people love this. Just another one.
Favorite.
It's man. Let's move on to Cruisin' Blast, because that was much better for me to see. Cruisin' still trying to survive at some point. Scott, what do you think of Cruisin' Blast?
That was the arcadey looking racer. Is that the right one I'm thinking of?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, that brought back a lot of memories of going to Niagara on those little vacations and finding the arcades in every hotel room seemed to have some version of that. Cruising in the USA, or I believe it was called. And,
absolutely.
And that sort of game. I have more experience, I think, than the average person for that kind of game. And I'm excited to see like a home version port of it. I think that's interesting. It could do well.
It could do well. We'll see it over on the Switch.
Racer for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it fits well on Switch.
I think so too. We'll see it this fall, and we'll see how that goes. What else is coming out? There was some Dragon Ball Z, Scott. That was man, I've never been into Dragon Ball. I couldn't get into it at all. I was past that generation.
Yeah, at the time, everybody in my grade, everybody in my school loved it. It was on YTV, and it just blew up. Everybody loved Dragon Ball. I was never very into it.
No.
So I kind of have a negative association with it. I'm not sure why,
Well,
but at my first reaction to seeing more Dragon Ball, I said, "What is this? Budokai
that's
9?"
yeah.
But it is Kakarot. I believe it's a sequel to Kakarot, so it's a new step in a new kind of sub series of it, and it's an anime fighter, so there is actually a very large crowd of people that appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think they're going to have a good game on their hands there. A lot of people love the world of Dragon Ball. So we'll see what happens there. What we're looking forward to on June 25th, though, Scott, is Mario Golf Super Rush is coming out. And that looks like a blast. And a bunch of free updates will be followed suit, too. Looking forward to that one.
And there's multiplayer kind of stuff going on, some competitive stuff that I haven't seen before in any sort of golf game. Mario Golf was one I've had a lot of fun with, actually. For no reason at all, I find Mario Golf, and it passes a good chunk of time for me, and I've had a good time with it.
No, it's definitely cool. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on this one. It's charming. I like it. I like Mario Golf. Very cool. Once again, we saw more Monster Hunter stories. I don't think we really need to touch on that one, Scott. We've talked about it enough. Let's get into which really, dude, this one's quirky as all. It is the WarioWare. Dude, I was like, what is this thing? And it's going on, and I'm like, I don't know about this thing, man.
Yeah, I have a friend that thought about it in an interesting way, kind of posed it in a funny way. It's kind of a running joke that WarioWare, he's a bad boss, he's just in it to make money. They pump out these like really bad products, but the important thing is that he gets the money to kind of fund his next weird scientific genius thing.
Oh my god.
And the point that my friend made to me was, how long until they realize that that's what they're doing, the developers, by making the game? It's mini games in an era that's not really about mini games.
Not at all.
That being said, there's been a long time since there was a WarioWare.
I'm okay with that.
It is a silly kind of game, but this one's 2-player, so there's the potential to have a good time with this game.
I don't know. We'll see. From there, we saw Shin Megami Tensei. Scott, thoughts on that? This doesn't cut it for me either. This is a weird high school thing, and that's just no.
Yeah, it starts off by saying you're just a normal teenager in Tokyo, and I said, isn't that the beginning of every anime I've ever watched?
Pretty much.
Like, I don't think there is a normal high school in Tokyo that you could be in. It's just an insane situation. But this game looks really silly. There's demons and angels. There's an alternate reality that's pouring through. That's the normal kind of Shin Megami Tensei stuff that you would expect. But what I didn't realize is that this is the spiritual parent, so to speak, of the Persona series. So it's kind of like Persona, but takes itself more seriously. And that gets me much more interested in this, actually. I believe this is Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Yeah, not for me. And it went from this to even worse was Danganronpa. Dude, I reviewed a Danganronpa game. It was one of the most weird things I've ever played in my entire life, and will never want to play one again. I know there's a big following out there for this particular franchise, and that's cool, but it is not for me in the slightest, man.
No, I've had it explained to me as kind of like Phoenix Wright, but if it was even more anime and even more wacky, and some of the characters don't quite make sense, and it's kind of like a murder mystery as far as I but I didn't know there was that many releases of the game so far.
There's a ton of them, man. It was over on the Vita. It's over on PlayStation. It's there. It's everywhere. It's really, really weird. You got this killer rabbit, and I'm just like, and then you get a bear. I'm like, what? I just nope. And then what continues on for a big old note for me, just because I don't like the spookies, is Fatal Frame. I was like,
Ah, yes.
right? Yeah.
Fatal Frame I've never played, but I took a good look at it back in the 3DS days.
Right.
And I remember I was looking at the cover, looking at the back cover, trying to figure out what does this game even do? And then I had seen a video kind of digestion of it, and it uses your camera, your hardware, to look around your house. You're moving around your house. You're kind of just viewing it through the screen. But what it does is it then starts putting in ghosts. It starts having weird anomalies start popping up, but it shows you that happening in your own house.
No, man, not a chance. No,
it's a pretty far out there idea, but I have to commend them for some innovation. That's an interesting one. I've never seen that done before.
Yeah. Let's blast through a couple more here, Scott. We had Tony Hawk come up 1 and 2. That's nice to see Tony Hawk Pro Skater come over there. We had Mario Rabbids announced as well. Well, we saw that earlier in the week, so not surprised to see that come over to the Nintendo conference. And then we saw Advance Wars, dude, that you called out of like nowhere. I thought that was impressive, man. I was really impressed. That looks cool. Are you gonna check this out?
I'm very interested in this one. Yeah, if I can find it at the right time or for the right price, then I'm definitely jumping in.
Nice.
I have fond memories of a similar title, but plays out the same way, and the kind of turn-based, unit versus unit thing. It's been a long time since Advanced Wars.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they put something competitive or just find a way of refreshing the IP.
And then coming up on June 18th is the expansion of Hyrule Warriors, dude. I really love this game over on the Switch. As I said, we had some frame rate issues, like a ton of frame rate issues, because there's so many characters on screen all at once. But it was such a cool game. They also announced Skyward Sword HD coming, Scott, which I thought was nice to see as well. And then, dude, just out of nowhere, out of the pocket comes Game Watch.
Yeah,
it's just like, what? What is this?
It's like a little piece of dedicated hardware just for 3 Zelda titles.
Yeah, so
I think I'm not sure who asked for that.
I don't know. Anybody asked for it,
but it's an interesting idea. It reminds me of when I was a kid in the early 2000s, and I was collecting that kind of dedicated hardware. But it had arcade games and stuff at the time.
Yeah, no, people have already pre-ordered it, man. Like, it's nuts. It's just crazy. But then to end off the Nintendo E3 Direct was Breath of the Wild 2. Nice to see, Scott. Not coming until 2022, however, but it was still nice that we saw something come out of this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the internet reaction side to that, a little disappointed because it's been, I believe, 4 years again.
Yeah,
this game has been in development, and they didn't have a whole lot to show. They definitely showed a teaser for what some of the differences will be, and that's interesting. I don't think anybody was surprised that this is a sequel to Breath of the Wild in some form.
No, for sure.
But they had to end on a high note. They started by getting the elephant out of the room and getting that Smash character reveal, because people would have just been thinking about it the entire video.
Sure.
It's their main selling IP at the moment. And then they ended it very strong with Breath of the Wild 2. That's definitely a hit in their category. So I'm happy with the structure of what they put on and how they paced it.
Me too.
We've certainly seen less interesting presentations.
Absolutely.
And the only thing that stands out to me is some of the titles that were not mentioned. We don't have any sort of idea what their development is. One that comes to mind specifically is Splatoon.
Sure.
3, I think, was announced in February already, but they have nothing to show for it. Now, that's February wasn't a long time ago, so I still hold hope. But
it is E3,
it would
have
been nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it would have been nice for them to make mention of it in the same way that they did with Metroid Prime. They made sure to state do not worry, that is coming.
No,
but you won't see it here.
No, for sure. And then we went into Bandai Namco to end off the day, who really just talked about Dark Pictures' House of Ashes, and that was it, Scott. Which is also going to be it for us, because it's the end of ITG Daily. Everybody, thank you for hanging out with us. Don't forget, you can join us live every day, Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, YouTube. If you can't join us live, hit us up later over at InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, and TV streaming networks around the globe. Until tomorrow, everybody, we'll see you inside the game.